So, Kristi, let's reflect on who we were coming into this research experience in fall 2021.
I was a third-year GTA in Rhetoric and Writing Studies, having just completed coursework the previous spring. In addition to teaching 2 sections of Introduction to College Writing, I was preparing to take the qualifying exam in January. Prior to my doctoral work, I earned an MA in secondary education at Wayne State University and taught high school ELA. I also neared completion of a second MA in art history at Wayne State University, which fueled my deep interest in visual rhetoric and multimodal composing, which is the focus of my digital dissertation. Obviously, being one to take on a bit more than I should, I struggled to balance caring for my 4 children, reading for QEs, teaching, and acclimating to my parents coming to live with me. Despite all the challenges, I genuinely began to see beyond the student perspective and think in broader terms about positionality, program values, and change. Playing the role of a WPA was exciting, but more so frightening. You planned for us to practice the research interview questions you would later ask WPAs participating in your study. I knew that my primary job was to give you the space to work out the what and how of your future interviews, but I had to be certain that the content of my contributions lent itself to points with which you could engage and respond. Although this was a great opportunity for me to practice for future job talks, it was a moment of professionalizing that was very new. This activity created pressure for me to determine a balance between my current position as a GTA and a hypothetical position as WPA. I had a chance to share my observations and criticisms of the program, but I had to spontaneously decide as the interview went on if I should censor what I thought. It felt like both a test, a high-stakes test to show what you know, and an opportunity, a low-stakes chance to share honestly. I know the experience was a bit different for you, Adrienne.
Yeah, in fall 2021, I was beginning my 3rd year as a tenure-line graduate faculty member in Rhetoric and Writing Studies after working in a full-time teaching position in our program for 8 years before that. I brought many years of working in teacher development in various capacities with me to the study. Like you, I had also taught high school for a long time before shifting into teaching college. As a single mom of 4 kids, I enjoyed my conversations with you, especially because we were able to talk about research life, teaching life, and mom life. The fall 2021 semester was an especially harried one for me in terms of research projects, teaching preps, and parenting in the uncertain return to campus during the pandemic. As a researcher seasoned with classroom research and analyzing students' writing, I came to this interview with less experience with interviewing as a method. In previous studies, I had experienced interviewing as part of a team, or I had worked with interview transcripts from conversations facilitated by other research team members. After teaching online with Zoom for over a year, I was confident about having a long conversation in a Zoom call, but less sure about how the interview questions I had planned would play out in a conversation with someone whom I had not worked with before. Playing the role of interviewer, both in the call with you and in my upcoming interviews, was not just a matter of hopeful data collection, it was also a professional performance to disciplinary peers that felt like it would be quite different from delivering a conference presentation. I would have to negotiate managing the distinction between networking and researching, and exercising the listening that is integral to both. The practice interview would provide me with an opportunity not only to try on the hat of interviewing researcher, feeling out the flow of the interview script and conversation, and assessing potential trouble spots with language, but would also allow me to practice talking about the composition teaching practicum course in more academic ways, as the practicum would be the common ground between me and the participants in my interview study.